What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G.S. and Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the July 9th, 2022 edition of the SmackDown LowDown. No Jackie Redmond this week, but they were replaced by Sam Roberts. So it was Matt Camp and Sam Roberts in the studio. To start off the show, they recapped Drew McIntyre and Butch in the main event. It was supposed to be McIntyre and Sheamus, with the winner earning an undisputed title match at Clash of the Castle in 2 months before it was changed. Last minute, Sheamus said he had COVID. Obviously a storyline excuse, but a very stupid, unadvertised main event that lasted all of fucking 90 seconds, but they quickly recapped that before running down the biggest headlines from SmackDown on Friday, before replaying the Ronda Rousey and Natalya match, which was a glorified 2-minute squash. Backstage with Megan Morant, we hear from Liv Morgan, who says that she's ready to defend Ronda Rousey when she's, physically able to. She's medically cleared come SummerSlam. I think the match has been made official. I'm not 100% sure on that, but very likely it will be one-on-one Ronda and Liv come SummerSlam for the SmackDown Women's Championship. She makes the note that no one loves that championship more than her, which is pretty evident based on the promo she's cut on TV in the last 4 or 5 days alone. So if there's anything that you can't fault her for is not caring about that championship. She certainly gives a shit about being champion, which is more than what can be said for a majority of this roster. And it's hard to blame them, too, considering a lot of these championships mean nothing. But she truly does care, and it comes across in her promos. But you can't wait to prove to people that she's a credible champion, and she will be champion for a while. So fingers crossed that's actually true. JBL, who's the special guest analyst for this episode, and his service, he zooms in from like fucking Bermuda or something, or some other country. He's out golfing or doing some sort of, charity thing, which he's known to do and whatever. His service is fucking terrible. I don't know if they edited the episode to make sure that some of his comments weren't included, because it did feel like edited more than usual, and I assume they filmed this either last night or earlier this morning, but you could barely even hear what he was saying. It was ridiculous. So, a lot worse than it usually is. I'm surprised they even kept that in. If they knew he was away, why not call up one of their other stooges like Jerry Lawler or Booker T or whatever? I'm not exactly sure, but I mean, he's one of the more bearable people they have on these shows to offer comments on what's going on, but his service was just so fucking bad, it was annoying. So, from what the little that we could hear from on the episode, he said it was weird because they made the comment, Ronda said on SmackDown, oh, it's easier to become champion than it is to stay champion, which makes sense. JBL, I think, agrees with her. He goes, yeah, Ronda was right when she said that, but it is easier to defend the title than take the title. That makes, I was going to say it doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess you could say that, maybe you could get DQ'd or counted out. Maybe he's looking at it from a heel standpoint. I just heard that and it made I was thinking that's literally the opposite of what she just said. And then it abruptly cut off, so I'm thinking maybe the rest of it wasn't even audible and they fucking chopped his comments down to as short as they were because the service is just so bad. But he does say the title changes people, but he is optimistic about Liv Morgan and their journey as SmackDown Women's Champion. From there, they replay the Liv Morgan, the Viking Raiders match, or should I say squash, against Shanky and Jinder Mahal, beating them in all of 90 seconds. Sam Roberts says that New Day has to figure out how they can bring the fight to the Viking Raiders going forward before they replay the Usos and Lothario's match, which was, I say replay, but honestly, they may have well just shown the whole fucking match because it lasted all of 2 or 3 minutes anyway. I mean, we deserve more of that match than what we got on the show, but whatever. Backstage, Kayla Braxton interviews the Usos again after she already interviewed them in the ring on SmackDown. And I think she either apologizes or they call her out for the hard-hitting question, so to speak. And, she made a comment during the show, and I mentioned this in my SmackDown review from yesterday, that, she had said, oh, you guys cheated, and they didn't cheat. I mean, it's, the fucking referee fucked up. And they said that here on Talking Smack or on the SmackDown Lowdown. They made the comment that it was the referee's fault for why the Profits lost and not the Usos' fault, who just took advantage of the situation. But whatever. They make the comment. They just kind of go off boasting about being the tag team champions and how great they are. And they don't care about the special guest ref, whoever it's going to be. I don't really have I don't have a lot of guesses beyond maybe Drew McIntyre. I don't assume he'll be on the SummerSlam card unless he faces Sheamus again, I guess. I guess it could be him. I'm not really sure. If it was a big name, yeah, honestly, when I saw the graphic here, I'm thinking to myself, I don't think this would be it. I feel like they would bring him in for something bigger than this. But the Profits did have a segment backstage on Raw a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, with John Cena. And obviously Cena has history with everything. He's interacted with the Usos before. He has history with Roman Reigns. He doesn't like the bloodline. I heard the report that Vince wanted to meet with Cena on the set of Peacemaker Season 2, I think yesterday after SmackDown or this past week or whatever, so maybe he wanted to meet with him about that. I don't know, but I don't think Cena's going to be there, especially for a match, but it's possible. We'll see. Maybe he could be the special guest referee. I feel like that would be worth the hype, but time will tell. But yeah, from there, the Usos just talked about how confident they were going into this match, this rematch with the Profits at SummerSlam. They take the mic away from Kayla. They just boast about how great they are, and that was pretty much it. Sam Roberts says that this is the best. So this is going to get a lot of people pissed for the 10 people that watch the show. Sam Roberts says that this is the best tag team match in the world right now. And I don't know if he meant as in, like, this is the best possible match in any promotion, which is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard. But not just that, I think what he meant to say and what he later clarified, maybe he did mean that, but he later did add as well that the Profits are the Usos' best opponents. And honestly, for as great as that match was at Money in the Bank, definitely in my top 5 best matches of the year so far for WWE in 2022, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not really sure how you can go against the New Day. I know they've had a million matches and quantity isn't the same as quality, but a lot of those New Day Usos matches are among the greatest matches in the last five or so years. Specifically, that stretch in 2017, it's that Hell in a Cell, the street fights, 2 out of 3 falls. I think they had a 2 out of 3 falls match, I don't remember, but, something along those lines. They are among their greatest opponents, I will give them that, but the Usos in the New Day is just on another level, at least in my opinion, but that's neither really here nor there. From there, they replay the Shinsuke Nakamura Ludwig Kaiser match where he beat Kaiser in a matter of minutes, as well as replaying the opening segment that saw Theory tease cashing in his briefcase. We hear from Theory quickly backstage here on the SmackDown LowDown with Kayla Braxton, and he just talks about, maybe I'll cash in next week, maybe I'll cash in on Raw, maybe I'll cash in before SummerSlam, maybe I'll cash in at SummerSlam, blah, blah, blah. So clearly, that tells you he's very... I guess he could, but I don't think he'll cash in anytime soon. I don't think he should cash in anytime soon. I don't think he's ready for it. But I do think he is, in my opinion, I'm probably in the minority here, one of the more perfect people to be holding that briefcase right now for the next several months. To wind down here, JBL says that Brock is the biggest threat to Roman Reigns' undisputed title right now. And that for Theory, there's probably no better time to cash in than soon, while Roman's still around and, Brock's beating up Roman. Might be on the smarter side to cash in on Roman on the sooner side. He can't predict the SummerSlam outcome between Roman and Brock, but he calls them 2 of the more dominant monsters in all of WWE. And then Matt Camp says that both men own big victories over each other, and from past years at WrestleMania and past years at SummerSlam, stuff like that. And Robert says that this is, I got a good chuckle out of this. He said this was Brock's last opportunity at Roman Reigns' championship, which... it'll never be the last opportunity. For as many times as they'll say, this is the last match, this is it, it's over, it's never actually over. Whether Roman's champion or not coming out of that match, I guarantee you at some other point, whether it be in 6 months to a year, 5 years, 10 years, we will see Roman and Brock again. It is never Brock's last opportunity at anything. Brock will always be there even after he's gone, if that makes sense. But that was the note they ended on for the SmackDown LowDown, July 9th, 2022. Thank you guys for checking out my review. Pretty standard show. I honestly... Sam Roberts being on the show doesn't exactly excite me. I honestly thought Kevin Patrick being on the show a week or 2 ago was far better than... I don't hate Sam Roberts. I just think Kevin Patrick is just much better. Much better than, in my opinion, Jackie Redmond as well, although she does well in her role. So pretty standard stuff. We heard from the Usos. We heard from Theory for like fucking 2 seconds. It hardly counts. And the SmackDown Women's Champion as well. So we got some stars on this episode as far as backstage interviews. They just weren't the most in-depth interviews you'll hear. So that was the show for July 9th, 2022. Thank you guys, as I mentioned, as always, for checking on the show. I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Have a great rest of your week, and I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.